Okay, Vata Tetzaveh Ois Hey, second parak of Ois Hey. Okay, the Rebbe is explaining this whole concept of kosis. Through kosis you come to Ma'od, and that's why Purim is a greater acceptance of Torah than Matan Torah, even though the Jews were on a greater level, but Purim was Mesidas Nefesh. So now the Rebbe started explaining that Jews believe in Hashem, Mamin and B'nai Mamin, it could be one of two reasons. Either because the Neshama sees Alukus, or because the Neshama is Alukus. Okay, that's what he was explaining. So he says, second paragraph of Hey. Based on this we can explain the sequence in the Maimon. The Inyan causes Lamor, this Inyan of causes. It comes in connection to Raya Mehemna, meaning this that Moshe Rabbeinu feeds Emunah. Is that it should be internalized. Is to how does he do this? By revealing the essence of the neshama. Because again, the level of Amunah that comes because the neshama sees Elukus, that's still a cause and a reason that's causing it. When you have the Amunah, like you said, because this is the essence of the Jew, is Elukus, it's not a side thing. So Moshe Rabbeinu, by revealing the essence of the Jew, is automatically internalizing the level of Amunah. Because if it's the essence, all over is the essence. When he reveals the level of Elokus even higher than Mazlayu, is Ma'or Shalamayla Meyod, is the level of Ma'or, the source, which is even higher than the light itself. And what it says, in order to come to the level of Ma'or, the source, is only through Kotzes Shebizman HaGolus. Okay? So he explains like this. And then I'll be saying a one-liner, which he's going to elaborate on later, but he says, Ikar Agilui the Etzem and Neshama. The primary revelation of the essence of the Neshama, of Mesidas Nefesh, which is primarily in the time of Golus, Kedrila Kaman. In other words, the ultimate revelation of the essence is only in Golus. And therefore, by Matan Torah, there wasn't a revelation of the essence. Therefore, it was only the beginning of the acceptance. But Purim or Golus, through the level of Kosis, you come to a level of the revelation of the essence of the neshama through the Moshe Rabbeinu of that generation.
But Hashem is full.
What?
They heard Hashem.
Yeah, but that's a revelation of Elokus.
That's Hashem himself.
Speaking though is already a revelation. What?
Is this one of the reasons why the Rebbe never stepped foot in Israel?
What does that have to do with that?
So that the revelation.
I don't know. I don't know. V'inyan is like this. The level of Amunah that causes a Jew mamish, not potential Mesidas Nefesh, actual Mesidas Nefesh, like it was in the days of Purim, is be'ikir ba'amunah shemitzad etzem and neshama. Primarily comes from the Amunah of the essence. Why? The Amunah mitzad zeh this Amunah that comes from because the Neshama sees Elukus, like either Mazlai or Chazi, Hagam Shibi Taikab Gadol, even though seeing is extremely powerful, Kiyadua, as it's known, this Amtus that the truth, the definitiveness, Shemitzad Oriyah, that comes because of seeing, his Amtus Gedela B'Yes is a very strong, powerful thing. But it's still Shamuna Shalem Mitzad Siba. It's still a reason because he sees Elokus. It's not bound to the essence. Meaning like this, as the Rebbe says at the bottom, the famous Gemara Einei Nasadayim. The Rebbe says like this: there's a level of Amunah that the neshama sees Elokus, and then there's a level of Amunah that the neshama is Elokus. This emunah that comes because the neshama sees Elokus is very, very powerful, to the extent that seeing is believing. That's the level, actually, with the expression, seeing is believing. And therefore, he quotes the Gemara, the din in the Gemara, that a witness cannot become a judge, at least in capital punishment. Halacha is, if a judge saw a murder, he witnessed a murder, a judge happened to walk in the street and saw a murder, he cannot sit on that case. Because a witness is not allowed to become a judge. So the question is, 1 minute, if he himself, why does he have to hear from witnesses that he himself saw it? What could be better than that? So the explanation of the halacha is, that's exactly what the problem is. If the judge saw a murder, he cannot be biased. He will be biased. He can't be unbiased. And the Torah says about judges, at least in capital punishment, v'shavtu ha'eda v'hitzilu ha'eda. They have to be able to judge, and they have to find merit for the person. They have to hear both sides, find merit. If the judge saw the murder, Re'i is so powerful that he's not biased anymore. He's biased. He cannot think maybe the guy's innocent. And the Torah says you have to be able to weigh it, maybe he's innocent. So he says, even though seeing Elokus is very, very deep, nevertheless, it's still a reason. Why does the person believe in Hashem? Because, once you use the word because, it's a reason, because the neshama sees Elokus. So seeing is very powerful, but it's still not the essence. And that's what he says. Nevertheless, as powerful as it is, it comes because of a reason. Is ein akshura imetz mitzius, therefore it's not his essence. Ein amuchrech sheyimse nafshe. It's still not proven that he will be Mesa Nefesh. Mesiras Nefesh, self-sacrifice, can only come from the essence. If there's a cause, you can undo the cause, or you can prove the cause differently. And this emunah that Yidden have, he ba'efen shel Mesa Nafshe al-Zed, that a Yid is Mesa Nefesh in the time of Galus, u'mipnei shamunah balukus. The emunah in Elokus is Atzim Shaloi, his essence, and therefore it's impossible for him to deny. Like the Rebbe says in Tanya, even a Kalsha B'Kalim, the lowest of the lowest Jews, is Meisah Nafsha Kiddush Hashem. Or like the Friedrich Rebbe had the expression, Mesiras Nefesh means, he said in Yiddish, Azoi und Nitandish. Mesiras Nefesh means, this is the way it's going to be, and it can't be any other way. There's no logic in it. This is the way it has to be. That comes from the essence. That's the real Mesiras Nefesh. What?
At the time of Matan Torah, the neshamas were popping out.
It was a super great revelation, but it wasn't their essence. Because essence only is revealed through Kosis.
Why is that rule?
Huh? Who made that rule? Hashem did, I guess.
So you have to suffer.
There's so many Gashmistic proofs of that. Like you said, how does a filter work? A filter only works because there's a blockage and it pushes through, then it becomes pure. A dam in water. In life, only, that's why we said, the root of Nun Samach, yeah, Nes. So Nes has three meanings. Nisayin, test. Nes, miracle. And Nes means to fly high. Nes is, in Hebrew, we say every day in Shmoneh. The son Nes, pick up the banner, the Kabbah is called Yosin, to gather the godless people, right? So Nes has three meanings. It's the same Nun Samach. It has test, miracle, and fly high. So this explains they're all interconnected. Only through a test can you fly high, and then you reveal the supernatural level of Elokus, the infinite level of Elokus.
But they were in God also.
Because, one second, the Rebbe says this in Kunstinion Shoter Sachsidis. Oil is the essence of everything. When you squeeze a table, you'll get oil. You squeeze anything in the world, if you squeeze it out enough, you're going to get oil. That means oil is the essence of everything. Therefore, the Rebbe explains oil has two opposite criteria. From one side, it's tzafah kol mashka. It flows on top of every other liquid. And yet the Gemara says, mefafeh b'kulei. It makes everything oily. So it's seemingly two opposite things. From one side, it's on top of everything else. But from the other side, it makes everything oily. So Rebbe explained, because that's what essence is. Essence is above, but it is everything. So only through kasis do you come to this level of amor. Without being pushed, like the Rebbe Rashad said about Yutas Kislev. Hashem and Azayas Shekechin Eisei Nesin Shamli. Rebbe Rashab said, what was Yutas Kislev? After Yutas Kislev was a Rashon of Chassidus. It was a greater revelation of Chassidus because in heaven they agreed that Chassidus should be disseminated and spread out. Yeah? So the Rebbe Rashab said only throughout the Rebbe being tortured in the story of Yutas Kislev can it give its oil.
But they were tortured in Israel.
Not by Matan Torah. Once they left Mitzrayim, they weren't. It was a newborn nation. That newborn nation wasn't tortured. And by the way, the Chassidus explains that Kor HaBarzel Mitzvah, the pasuk says, Hashem took him out Kor HaBarzel. Kor HaBarzel is an iron comb. Kor HaBarzel, kor is a comb that you tan hides with. Okay? Now when you want to tan a hide, take a coarse hide that's not usable, you want to make it into leather or parchment, yeah, you have to tan it, right? Ma'abed, tanning the hide. How do you tan the hide? You actually torture the hide. You comb it and hurt, and then you refine it. So it's the same thing. It says in Chassidus that the Yidden had to go through Golus Mitzrayim, to become a nation. They had to be tortured. And the same thing Chassidus explained. In this Golus, when we're tortured even more and longer, 2,000 years, because the purification and the refinement for Mashiach is much greater refinement.
The whole diet desert anyway.
Yeah, that generation. But the new generation went into Egypt. Because that generation, Chassidus explains, was Dor Deya. Moshe Rabbeinu was Mamshel. The Rebbe said, alluded to it before in the Maamar. Moshe Rabbeinu was a Dor Deya, a door of understanding Elokus. And in Purim time, it's not Dor Deya, it's Kosis, it's Mo'od. Das is also not the essence of the neshama. Das is understanding, feeling it. But it's not the essence. Kosis makes the essence. And therefore it's like, Moshe Rabbeinu's generation didn't need Mesiras Nefesh. Because Moshe Rabbeinu's generation never had any challenges. Say after Yetzias Mitzrayim, there are no challenges. That's why it was only Dor Deya.
But they had tremendous crisis before they came out of Mitzrayim, which possibly like,
Again, they became a nation when they left Mitzrayim.
It was still the same people. It was still the same people who were tortured.
That causes, that torture in Egypt was to get them to get out of Egypt.
So that I'm just saying, it caused them to want to come out of.
Yeah, and then they screamed they want to go back. How many times did they scream they want to go back? In today's parsha, they wanted to go back.
Psychologically, that doesn't really make sense, right?
No, it doesn't make sense.
Because they thought they had real customs for 80 years.
Yeah, their hard slavery was...
So a little mishap at one shouldn't have
Yeah. You know, a lot of people will complain if the soup's cold, right? They'll make a big yelling and screaming that the soup is cold. What's the big deal? So eat cold soup. And what's the world came to an end? What happened? You got a heart attack. I mean, you'll eat cold soup. Soup's cold right away. Every stupid thing people blow out. And is it logical? No. Right? But people do it because they're people. Okay, weiter. Okay, now we can explain, based on this, we can explain what the Maamar says. This, the Moshe Rabbeinu's Raya Mehemna, Shuzon and Mefanis Amuna, that he feeds the Amuna, who gamba negel Yisrael shebachol dor. It's not only Moshe Rabbeinu, but like the Zohar says in Pashtus, the Moshe bachol dor. Shemachas es Amuna the Yisrael. They should strengthen the Amunah of the Yidden, Sheyamdu b'Mesidas Nefesh, b'Kiyum HaTorah mitzvahs, that they should have Mesidas Nefesh. In fact, Rebbe explains in Tanya, Rebbe asks a question in Tanya, L'chaira, why did Moshe Rabbeinu speak about the Yidden of Mesidas Nefesh when the Yidden didn't need to have Mesidas Nefesh in his time? So he's speaking of the Mesidas Nefesh is Yetzias Mitzrayim, that whole concept, okay, because ultimately it was for future generations. But even in the midbar itself, there had to be a Mesidas Nefesh, not necessarily the difficulties of Kosis, but Mesidas Nefesh is as good as I am to be better. So he says like this. This, the Moshe, l'chayra midas, the Moshe Rabbeinu feeds and sustains Emunah. Like he explains in many places, even in this Maamar itself, how does Moshe Rabbeinu reveal this level? So this, the Moshe Rabbeinu gives das. In the Sati Esav, the Sot, remember we said means das? Shaydei bo Emunah b'pnimius. And he says, V'zeh sherei yisol shebachol dor, mechazkin Emunah, Usha di Yisrael Tiya ba'efin the Mesidas Nefesh. So he says, what's the difference between Moshe Rabbeinu and everybody else? Everybody else, I'm sorry, let's go with Moshe Rabbeinu. Moshe Rabbeinu was mashpia das. The other Rebbes in their generations were mashpia Mesidas Nefesh. But he's going to explain there's still a difference. Because in order to have Mesidas Nefesh in the ultimate level, like he says, not because, but it is, that's only through Kosis. So in a certain respect, the Rebbe is going to explain, Mordechai was a different, Moshe Rabbeinu, Moshe B'derei, but his Avodah was different and a greater level than Moshe Rabbeinu's. Moshe Rabbeinu got Matan Torah. He got Kimmel v'Kiblu Yehudim, the ultimate level.
Wow.